everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Coco Caliente with me and my mom.
Hello, everyone.
My mom's name is Jeni, by the way, Jeni. Some of you are saying, what's her name? So there we go, Jeni. And we're excited to be back. Thanks so much for listening to our past couple episodes. We are, trying to get the hang of this, and we're having fun with it. And right now it is Friday night, and we just had a fish dinner. So that's about what we're up to.
Really good fish dinner, actually. Picked it up after he got off work, and
tonight I have the longest night ever, but I have to be careful with the table, Mom. So now we're podcasting on a table, so now every time we touch it, our microphone shake. Victor would always yell at me about that, so just be careful.
So now just don't breathe.
Just so that way they don't have to hear us finicking around. But tonight I have to basically put my whole house together, so that way when a person comes tomorrow that helps me film some content and take some photos for me, everything's ready to go. So I think I have to have 16 outfits ready and then my whole house clean, which we're not even moved in. So
that's going to be, I don't think it's all going to get done.
No, I'm already tired. So I think I might not take pictures of the house yet because it's not even close to ready, and then push that for maybe a couple months, That's probably what I'll do, but oops, I did it. I did the table thing, see? Okay, so what do you got for us today, Mom?
I don't know. What should we start out with? My funny Dave story?
Sure.
And I didn't even tell Nicole this one yet because it just happened today. I have such a list, but this one just made me smile this morning, and I've been laughing about it all day, and I haven't told her anything about it yet.
It happened recently?
This morning.
Oh.
Okay. So anyways, for Christmas, one of the things I got everybody was these bars of soap from a local lady who makes her own soaps, and they smell so good, and they're so pretty. So they're like the real soaps that are, I can't even remember which flavor
I got Amish bread.
Okay, yeah, so they're all different things. So one's like a coffee. So one of Dave's was a coffee one because I actually bought 6, and then she gave me this other one free. She said, this one's it was made different. She said, so I'm just going to throw it in there to see if you like it, for a future order. Well, it was a lot more coarse than the rest of them, and so I was wrapping the rest, and I didn't wrap that one, and Dave was sitting by me. This was a few weeks ago before Christmas, and I said, for the stockings, and he said, I said, smell this, and he says, I'll take that in my shower, right away. So I was like, well, it's going to be a little rough because I can tell just because it wasn't the smooth like the rest of them. And anyways, he took it. Nothing was ever said about it again. I never asked him. He showers in the bathroom that's in our bedroom, and I shower in the other bathroom in our house. So nothing about it. This morning I got in the shower to shower, and I'm looking all over for my bar of soap. And I just use Dove regular clean soap, and I can't find my soap anywhere. And I'm like, what did I do with it? And so I'm looking around, and I look, and I see that bar of soap in the bathtub. So I'm just laughing because I just grabbed it then, and then I showered with it. And then as soon as I did, I'm thinking in my head, oh my gosh, Dave doesn't like his bar of soap. So he came and traded me bars of soap in the bathtub. So then I just used it, and I could tell as soon as I used it, and it felt good. Actually, I love it, and I'm going to keep using it because it actually felt like a nice little back.
Probably like a
back scratch.
What's it called? The sugar scrub though. What's it called? Oh my gosh.
Body scrubs, yeah.
Yeah, body scrub.
But actually, it even felt better because it was on a bar because you moved it then, and it was kind of felt like it scratched your back a little bit. But I just started laughing because literally I order from Amazon on subscriptions. We have probably 50 bars of soap at home, all in a closet. And instead of going and getting a different bar of soap, he traded me soap. So that's
not even something I feel like that Dad is capable of.
What?
Sneakily trading soap and just not saying anything about it.
He said he didn't know where the other soaps were, so he just traded me to see if I like it. But it was just funny because I literally was I could not stop laughing about it all day. So I called him up. I said, you don't like your bar of soap? He said, oh, did you like it? And I said, actually, I did. I said, I told you when you took that. But it was just the funniest thing because was very unexpected this morning. It was just
I haven't used my bar of soap yet, but I'm excited to. I like to use the homemade
And I actually
soaps.
ordered the Amish bread one for me too, and I have it on just sitting on something in the bathroom because it smells so good and it makes my bathroom smell good. I don't even want to use it yet, but I will because eventually the smell will.
I love those homemade soaps.
But they're just so cool looking, yeah. And he was excited to use this, and like I said, I hadn't heard anything in the last few weeks, anything about it. He's been using it, but he must have finally decided he had enough. So let's just trade soaps and not get one out of the cupboard. It was just kind of funny.
I have sweet potatoes all over my shirt. Right now I'm doing where I can tell Arrow wants to eat. So he is going to be 6 months super, super soon. And I wasn't sure if I was trying to kind of hold off giving him food because it's like a big step and you kind of want to mentally prepare for it. But one day I just felt really guilty. I was sitting at the table. I was shoving my face full of food at my mom's house because I was starving, and he was just sitting in his high chair because we'll sit him in there and kind of practice him sitting up, and it's also a safe place for him to play with toys and be at our level. So then he's kind of just staring at me, looking really kind of sad, and I felt really guilty that I kept eating.
And he kept going,
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, is he trying to say mama? Or is he just saying he's hungry? So then I was just me and my mom looked at each other and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not prepared for this, but I think we need to feed him. And I'm all about doing is it called the baby led feeding? Is that what it's called?
That's what I think it's called.
Yeah. And I follow some Instagram pages on it, and basically what it is you give them whole pieces of food. You start with, I think, an avocado. Oh my gosh, the dogs are scratching on the door. Paris and Beyonce. You guys. Mom, can you open that door? Sorry. This episode is brought to you by Hello Me. Hormonal birth control depletes key nutrients in your body, including B vitamins, magnesium, zinc, vitamin C, probiotics, and many others. It can also disrupt your gut health. So Top Up Tonic is formulated specifically for anyone using birth control or experiencing PMS. It's just one small pill a day. It gets up your energy, your mood, your skin, and metabolism back to where they should be. So deficiencies in vitamins and minerals stripped away by birth control leads to common side effects like mood swings, fatigue, bloating, acne, a sluggish metabolism, and decreased immunity. So if you're ready to get back to living life on top, right now our podcast listeners will receive 25% off Top Up Tonic when you go to hello.me/Coco and use promo code COCO. That's HELLO.me/COCO. Use promo code COCO today. Redefine what it means to be hormonal. And what was I saying? Goodness.
The lead.
Okay, so yeah, you give them a chunk of food. So it'd be are they not there anymore? You give them a slice of avocado, for example, and then they learn to put it up to their mouth, and this helps them with the chewing mechanism because it stimulates the brain in a certain way, and that's what we're supposed to be doing. And when you're feeding baby food, apparently you skip their gag, or possibly can skip their gag reflex, which can cause choking. So that's why people are starting to lean towards this new way of feeding. And the fact that I have a choice is already stressful enough, and I want to do obviously what's best for Arrow. I get terrified thinking about giving him a giant chunk of avocado, but apparently it's safer. And anyway, so in that moment, I decided with what I had on hand, the only thing I could really do was, and I'm kind of scared to give him avocado first, so I did sweet potato because avocado is kind of part of the banana family, and my mom has this fake allergy to bananas my whole entire life.
Latex intolerant.
Yeah, so and latex is connected to bananas, which is connected to avocado. So I'm just I'm not dealing with any of that today. And my mom would she doesn't eat avocado to this day either, and we were at her house. So I did sweet potatoes, and you just steam a sweet potato for 10 minutes. It gets soft. You're going to blend it, and then I added some breast milk. And anyway, so then we put it on his tray to kind of see what he does. I mean, I have no idea. And I felt okay, this isn't baby-led feeding, but it's also not, I'm not spoon feeding him. I'm not forcing it into his mouth. Not that you force it. my terminology, I like to be very careful with my terminology. I don't want to offend anyone, but spoon feeding them, like I'm just letting him touch it. And he's I have a 4-minute video and it's so adorable. I do want to make it into like a reel or something for you to see, but he kind of just playing with it, really excited about the texture. And then eventually I'd say after like a minute, he takes his hand up to his mouth, which he's always chewing on his hands because he's teething. And he liked it, and he kept going back and forth, made a huge mess, super smiley. And I felt like, okay, this is the best of both worlds for me as a new mom, because I am not giving him a big chunk of food where I'm stressed, but I'm also letting him do it and him control it. And that's kind of where we're at with that. I just did it right now a little bit while we were eating fish. He was kind of making the and like smacking his lip noise. So I gave him a little more sweet potato. But I mean, I got to figure out which way I'm going at this point.
Yeah, and like I don't know if it was a choice back then, but I've never heard of it before. So it was basically you fed your baby cereal, even a little bit in the bottle to thicken the milk when they started getting hungry, and then cereal. We fed them with a spoon, and then baby jar food, and it was, step 1, step 2. Like, I don't know. I did not know anything different. And I mean, so I fed my kids that way. So this is all new to me too. When she's asking me questions about which one's better, I don't know, because I have never, dealt with it.
Yeah, it's hard to decide. It's hard to decide too, because I mean, honestly, I turned out pretty okay with as far as, I mean, I guess I did have a choking episode when I was little, and Jesse had a choking episode when he was little. I had to get the Heimlich really bad. I had a Starburst stuck in my throat. I don't know how old I was, but I remember.
She was jumping. She put a Starburst in her mouth and jumped up and down on the couch.
Okay, so that was probably asking for it, right? And then Jesse choked on a hot dog at a roller rink once. Pretty bad.
He took a big bite, yeah.
Big bite. So I don't know if there's any correlation to that at all when you're older. I really haven't studied that. But I just know that I want Arrow to obviously not choke and like his vegetables. So I don't know what direction exactly that is going to take me. But I was even a little apprehensive. Is that the word? Apprehensive. To share the photo of him like playing in the food and putting it in his mouth and everything. Because I was like, oh no, are people going to say, like, you should be doing this, and you need to, like, have the food be bigger than his finger and boil it so he can chew on it. And, it's just scary. I feel I would never shame a mom on the route that they're taking with their child, because I love advice, but there's difference between advice and then shaming as well. But I did not get any bad things. It was amazing. I was shocked, but I still have the direction to go. I'm not sure. I'm thinking I'm going to lead towards the baby-led feeding for sure. My stomach hurts even like thinking about giving him a big chunk of food.
Because we're raising a spoon to our own mouth, and he has his mouth like open, saying, like he wants you to veer that spoon right towards his mouth, and like he's got his little hands clenching, going back and forth. Like
I think
like
he'd be the easiest baby to spoon feed. That's the thing, is I think he would. So I'm like, should I just... And one of my friends does the spoon feeding, and it works great for her. So, I mean, it can work great either way. I don't know. Maybe I won't do the baby-led feeding yet. We'll see. I guess you can follow the journey. And so for right now, we're just going to do some sweet potatoes until he's 6.
And we found a couple books that we're going to order to read up on. Because most of our reading's just been like online, like because we didn't even know if LED stood for something, like nothing. It was just... I think the first I heard of it is Nicole's first cousin. Yeah. I think that's the first I heard of it. And her little girl's about 1.5 now. And she told me about it. And I said, really? So, I hadn't had grandchildren. And I'm like, they just pick that up and eat that? I was just like terrified me. I'm like, how do they do that? So...
And then she's like, no, it actually like prevents choking. I'm like, that's so interesting. It's all so interesting. There's so many things to learn, and everything works, whatever works for you. But I am interested to learn it's exciting moving on to the stage of eating with Arrow. It's very different, and he's growing up quick. This episode is brought to you by Stance. So founded in 2009, Stance Apparel represents a radical reinvention of socks, underwear, and active apparel, with a sharp focus on comfort and quality and creativity. Stance brings an atypical aesthetic alongside some of the pop culture's hottest collaborations for the ultimate in style and self-expression. Because everything you wear should be a direct extension of who you are and how you feel. I got the coolest Stance socks. They are so comfortable. They're super vibrant. Definitely my style. I got Victor's family some Stance socks. And they have cool, like, collaborations. So if you're into, like, The Office, Harry Potter, Disney, Marvel, NBA, Pixar, Star Wars, tons of different collabs that they do, so you can always check out. If you're looking for something special for someone, can definitely be, they have whatever you need to fit like that specification. So Stance believes that the perfect fit matters more than fitting in. Those who feel good, do good. So go see for yourself. You can register for an account at stance.com and get 15% off your first purchase. Use promo code COCO, C-O-C-O, at checkout to apply. Enjoy the color and comfort of a less ordinary life with Stance. He did have a play date this morning with one of my friends. It was really cute. She's about 10 days only older than him. She's got quite a few pounds, I'd say. Oh, I mean, 2, maybe 2.5. And a baby, that's quite a bit. I think that maybe only 1.5. I guess, I'm not sure. But when I hold her, she feels like a lot more solid. And she's also a breastfed baby. Their behaviors are super similar. She's a mama's girl. He's a mama's boy. And they're very attached to their moms, which is super cute. But she's definitely ahead of him in the rolling aspect. It looks like she's gonna be crawling soon. But she does have a sister. How old's her sister? 2.5? 2.5-ish, maybe almost 3. And so I think having an older sibling, it was really cute. She was like playing with her and playing with Arrow, but that stimulates, like, I feel like the baby wants to do what she's doing. So wants to move around more, wants to see everything she has. Mm-hmm. She's like rolls till she gets to what she wants and picks it up. So it was different, but her and Arrow really liked each other. It was really my mom's like, what's the word? I think they imprinted. She's like, yeah, I feel like they like imprinted on each other.
Well, they were just staring at each other's eyes, and Arrow gave her this smile that I never even seen before. But then the weirdest thing was, like, if she puckered her lip, like, and got sad, even before she like made the sound, he could just tell, and then he would just start wailing, crying, and he doesn't even do that. So I was like,
he only does it if he like were to scratch himself, and then it would leave like a little blood mark. Like when that's like the most hurt I feel like he's ever been. I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, I have this sensitive little ball of like goodness. Just if he hears me cry, he cries, which I shared on my story the other day, but he wasn't around another baby that was crying. She cried 3 or 4 times, and he cried every single time.
Yeah, and like louder than her. And 2 of the times like that she didn't even cry. She more like whimpered and puckered her lip because she was going to cry, but then he cried really loud, which made her like open her eyes and look at him and kind of stop crying. I was like, oh my God. Yeah. Oh, he's going to be too sensitive for this world. And it's just, I don't know. Hopefully that's not it. It was just how sweet they were. They're just looking at each other and smiling. But that was his first, like real play date with somebody like his age. Yeah, his age, where they both like
can acknowledge each other. They definitely knew each other was in the room. They locked
would both
arms.
grab at the same toy. Yeah, they knew. Like,
well, and when they first walked in, he just stared her down. Like, it was really, really cute. My mom wasn't here yet, but I was like, man, you really like her, huh? And I thought that was really cool. And then it just kept getting like more and more. But we're gonna try to do it once a month. It's nice to have. Arrow doesn't go to daycare, neither do they. And so they need some social interaction. And it also makes me feel good as a parent because they're not around a bunch of kids, which, knock on wood, like that kind of helps with getting sick and stuff like that. So I'm just a little bit scared ever since Arrow got sick to go through that again. And I know kids get sick, I get that. But if I can avoid it, I'm going to avoid it, especially when I feel like he's not at 100%, but he's getting there. I think this is the closest that he's ever been back to fully himself.
Yeah.
His skin is looking a lot better. We did switch detergents, so I just learned that Dreft is not really that good for your baby. So I mean, I don't know all of the statistics and whatever science behind it, but I personally put in way too much detergent to water. I fill it to the max line every single time because in my mind, more soap means, oh, it's going to get cleaner. Well, when Arrow was having these skin rashes and stuff ever since his 4-month vaccines, I was like, it's like eczema or whatever. And I never know if it's eczema or eczema. And everyone's like, you're a nurse. It's like, yeah, I freaking read it in a textbook and I can't pronounce well. And no one ever says the word to me, so I don't know. But, okay, so I feel like it was kind of some form of that. But then it would get worse and get better. And then my mom was like, you know what, what if it's detergent? And I kept washing. Me and my mom would wash everything like every day because we thought, well, nothing's dirty. Like, at least nothing's dirty. We know that he's not putting dirty stuff in his mouth. Like, we wash his toys, and then
and like the puppies, like if I even seen him walk on the mats he's on, I said, okay, let's throw him, because Nicole's washer is always running here. So we just, I think we're over cleaning everything, I feel like, with lots of soap.
Overdrafting, so then we switched to, what is it? Tide Gentle and Free. And it's been getting better. And now I learned today that, well, my friend said that she only uses a little bit of detergent. She told my mom.
For the babies, yeah.
And then Victor told me his uncle, who's a plumber in Puerto Rico, said that people's plumbing goes bad a lot faster if they use more detergent. And you really don't need a lot. It's so concentrated. So now I'm going to go from filling it to the max line to like bare minimum. That's all it takes is like a little education. So,
well, I walked in the other day. I was like, I didn't even see it. She threw a rug in the washer. I was looking for something, and I always forget which, because she has a new washer and dryer here. I'm not used to everything yet. And I forget which one. The washer and dryer look so much alike. I forget which one's on the right side. So I just went to go grab something that I thought was in the dryer, and I opened the washer and I came out and I asked her, I'm like, you don't have nothing in the washer, just a bunch of soap. She goes, no, that's the rug. I said, it's all white in there. And she said, that's the rug. It's a white rug. I said, no, go look. And it's like, the rug was there, but you couldn't see it. This was done washing, and the bubbles were all the way up 6 inches above the rug.
That's horrible. I fill everything I just thought like you fill it to the max. I don't know why I think that, but detergent's expensive too, so this will help save me some money.
And your plumbing eventually.
Yeah, now I'm like, oh my God, plumbing. Okay, I'm going to do barely anything. But I do think the Dreft scent was quite strong for him. But I loved how it smelled. I was even washing my clothes in Dreft because I was like, is it my detergent that's causing this? And then it was like the poor baby was just covered in Dreft. And yeah. That's a little bit of a rant I went on, but that's some good stuff to share in case that helps any other moms out there.
Yeah, and something we were going to talk about last week, and we never did because we ran out of time, was I've seen a lot of things in the past month, and it was because it was Thanksgiving and it was Christmas, about like family traditions and about how a lot of people were talking about that they lost somebody in their family.
Wait, we did talk about that last episode.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. We talked about it, for sure.
We did?
Yes. I saw it written on your paper, and I'm like, we already talked about that last week. We did.
I wrote it, but I didn't talk about it.
Yes, we did. Because we told them, like, well, how do you, like, I think we talked about it.
No, me and you talked about it.
Oh, just me and you talked about it. Are you sure we didn't talk about it on the episode?
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about it again.
If we're going to talk about it again and I'm wrong and we talked about this last week, then
maybe we didn't.
Then I might have
dementia,
something, and I can't remember. Or else me and her are together so much, and we talk about things that's what I have to ask.
I know. Write down what we talk about, Mom, because you and I will have like
she's got me a little bit nervous, but I guess we might have different thoughts about it today. Then, so we'll talk about it.
Okay. So yeah.
Anyways, I was talking about how on my Facebook and like different things that I saw so many stories from people that I know who said holidays aren't the same anymore because like their grandparent died, or their wherever they go, and it also is because of like the COVID and not being able to get together and the family traditions, and like how things are changed. They don't have the big family dinners. It's just their immediate family and stuff. And I was looking at it and I was sad because I was thinking about like when we were younger, oh my gosh, that was the only time we saw our cousins was the holidays, and loved it. Like, this is even before, this is me when I was a kid. And every time we were at, like, say Christmas, one of us went home with another family member. Everybody, and back then you didn't drive and see everybody every day, so we'd get to stay 3 days, Whoever house you went to, whichever house, we would all trade, so somebody had a different kid at all the 4 sisters of my mom. My mom has 3 sisters, and we'd all go home to a different house and stay for like 3 days. And it was just kind of nice. And that was like, you really looked forward to that kind of stuff. And things have changed so much now that we just, like, Dave's mom has, they have 14 kids. My husband had 14 kids. 15. We didn't talk about that, right? And
no, I was saying like.
And she had, I've been married to Dave for 32 years, but we've been together like couple years longer than that. And up until 3 years ago, she had a Sunday dinner every single Sunday since I've been in the last 34 years or 30 years before that. Whoever comes. She always has enough food. Everybody's welcome, all the brothers and sisters and whoever they're dating and their kids or their friends. Like, she adopted some kids, I swear, that are the same age as her, that call her Ma, and they're 60 or 70 years old, that somehow have come over through the years. And she has a tiny kitchen. They have had 14 kids. They only have 1 bathroom. Like, they live in a farmhouse. And it's not a tiny kitchen. I mean, it's a big table in the kitchen, but it's small. I mean, for that many people. But everybody just comes and eats in shifts. And
what's weird is, like, and it doesn't feel small. Like, everyone just makes it work.
Yeah.
Like, it's I don't know.
Because a table, fits like 8 people, right?
It's crazy that's where, Dad grew up. Like, she's still same house, same everything. And it's just.
Some people would take their plates into the living room and sit. Everybody just knew, like there's certain brothers that eat first right away. We kind of always ate towards the end. We didn't go right at the beginning, and I feel like we kind of went with not a huge appetite because there's so many people.
Yeah, and sometimes we would do something else on a Sunday, and then we would go there. But I think I always looked forward to it still. She always had carrots and ranch dip, which I love. Like
carrots, she had her cheese trays there and her vegetables trays and desserts, and like her desserts are like maybe. She made like 4 different kinds of things during the day. So during the week, so there might be 5 things left, 5 cookies of this and 5. So it's variety. She had like
so much variety. Always like mashed potatoes, always ham, always vegetables,
turkey
always
or meatballs.
Corn. Like she had a lot of things.
Salad.
Yeah, it was something to always look. And then there's this little tiny chair compared to all the other chairs. It's small to where. I mean, the youngest, whoever's there, they're like, you have to sit there. And I remember Dad said growing up that one of his brother, Richard, I think, always had to sit there because he was the skinniest. But then they just kept it. The chair is still there. And when I was little, I was like, I want to sit in the special chair. Like, and now you'll see, like, the younger cousins. I mean, I don't know how many cousins there are, but there's a ton. And I'm the third oldest cousin on that side.
Yep.
And
fourth, Amanda.
Oh, fourth.
No, who's older, Amanda? Yeah, you're the fourth.
Okay, fourth. And but there's I don't know, 20 some at least. What'd you say?
There's got to be more than that.
30
right?
some. I don't know. But now there's some that are super tiny that are maybe 1 year old, 2 years old, 3. I don't know how. And they sit there. So it's just. But now she finally stopped.
I think the youngest is 5 now. Isn't Allie the youngest? Is there anybody younger? But we have great grandkids now. So we do have a 1.5-year-old, but she's like a great grandkid. But she quit those. But she was always prepared, always ready, always standing. She never sat down to eat. She was the last one to eat.
I don't think I've ever seen her sit down and eat on Sunday dinners.
She did because I always waited till the end to eat with her. I would help her pick things up. We didn't go as often. There's some that go. He's got 4 brothers, I think, that aren't married. So they, of course, would be there every week where we had family stuff to do. And Dave worked a lot of Sundays. And so we probably went once every, 2 months, I'd say. Mm-hmm. I'd say we only went like once every 2 months, but you were welcome to go every single
Sunday.
Yeah, it was always there. It was always an option. And right around COVID time, she stopped. And so,
which was very smart of her. And I think it's a lot of work too. If you think about feeding all those people, and then also you're worried about getting sick and stuff. And I think she definitely still cooks for people if they want.
There's a couple of the brothers that, but she doesn't, not a lot. When I go over there, it's not like as much as, we'll stop over, check on them.
That's got to be a crazy grocery change for her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't even know if I think most of the time somebody just picks up her stuff now too. She doesn't. My father-in-law has been like sicker, so
just kind of in and out.
Well, a bad knee, so he doesn't walk, go move as much and stuff. So they stay home a lot more. Now she doesn't go. She goes to church, and I think that maybe this grocery store once a week into church. I'd say that's about. Mm-hmm. But she still goes over to I guess she goes over to some of the sons and helps them do some work and stuff still. So she does get out and she does a lot of work.
She gets around
them.
really good.
Yeah, she's crazy. I'll go over there and I know where my husband gets his
work ethic.
Oh my goodness. I go over there and she's in the back of say it snowed. She's jumped up in the back of a truck that's just sitting in her yard shoveling the snow out of the back of the bed of the truck. I'm like, how in the heck she get up there?
Yeah.
Like she's just like
a workaholic.
And she has like a ton of cats. She's always out there
She lives on they live on a farm, so she has lots of barn cats that she takes care of. And so when you were younger, you were saying that that's kind of how it was for you. Oh, let me grab them real quick. Hold on. Fill the gap.
But yeah, so anyways, when we're talking about these traditions and stuff, last Sunday I called the kids and I said, do you guys want to come over for dinner? Because I got this new thing for Christmas that I wanted to try out, which it's like a big wok, but it plugs in. And I don't know, I call it a hot pot, but you put it at the table. You can actually put it at the table and plug in and already have the broth and the meat and stuff. And then I had all the vegetables set out and each person can just throw whatever they want in and then pull it out. And you guys really enjoyed that, didn't you?
I loved it.
And so I had Jesse really
it
thought
was actually really healthy too. And Victor filled up too.
Yeah.
Which is surprising.
Yeah, because he had steak in his. We had steak, rice, these
green beans. Those noodles are so good.
What kind of noodles were those?
I don't know.
I can't say the word.
I don't know what it even starts with. Just a type of noodle that you put in for, I don't know, like Asian cuisine, I would assume.
Yeah, but they had a certain kind of thing and then I had all the vegetables and so you could put the thing in. But the funniest thing is my son ate 2 big plates at least. Mm-hmm. Then next thing I know, I have this cubby hole in the corner and he's got the chips out. And I said, what are you doing? He goes, that was just too healthy. I got to put something else in my mouth that isn't healthy. And
it was really good. And so did you say you're going to start doing Sunday dinner?
Yeah. So was it you or Jesse? One of them said, you got to start doing this every week. And I said, okay, so what do you, next weekend? And then Jesse already told me what he wants made. He wants shrimp fettuccine Alfredo, right? Yeah. And stuffed pasta shells and homemade bread. And
he called to check on a day ago. Well, they talk every single day, but you still having that Sunday dinner?
Well, I mentioned I'm going to come over and visit you this weekend. He says, well, you're still having us over for dinner, right? I said, yeah, I'm having you over for dinner, but I'll still stop by sometime. But he's just, now I'm going to start my own traditions.
Now that Jesse moved out, I think that when you move out of your mom's house, her cooking, my mom's cooking was always really good, but now it's oh my gosh, so good. And me and Jesse when we show up at my mom's, we just literally act like we're 5 years old. We literally can't do anything. Mom, what are you going to make us to eat? It's horrible. But he's
and if I don't have anything cooked, they act so sad. And so Dave's always so funny. He's like, I think Jesse's going to be around today. Make some different things and put them in the fridge. And, he knows Nicole's around every day. So but most of the time we have a lot of stuff. But Dave is just worried about make some desserts, do this, put, the kids are used to just coming and grabbing and taking home. And Jesse always goes home with stuff, doesn't he?
He does. And I'll make sure because when Ashley's at school, so he's basically by himself all week. He works 12 hours at least, sometimes some days, and long, long days. And he needs to eat. Otherwise, I feel like he just eats at gas stations, whatever is fast, and that's super unhealthy for him.
Well, I know she said she's been making him some stuff and putting it in the freezer and stuff, yeah.
Well, then he just got to get it out. And he does, when he calls you, I'm surprised. He's like, I'm making spaghetti.
He must like spaghetti. So he mentioned either he doesn't make it every day or he makes it, or he talks about making it because every say, what you going to have? And it seems like it's always spaghetti.
I give him a lot of credit for even thinking about cooking for one, though. Cooking for two is hard. Me and Victor will make spaghetti, and I'll eat spaghetti for 4 days. And I'm like, I'm so sick of spaghetti. And I made a big pan of lasagna, and I think it made it from my house to your house, and I was like, Jesse, I'm about to ship you home some lasagna. Victor's like, yeah, we cooked it like 4 days ago. I'm like, it's still fine, but like, how can I eat lasagna for like 3 or 4 days?
When she sent it home, I ate it for 2 days.
But when growing up, me, my mom, and my dad, and my brother, for 4 people, you would make a pound of something.
Yeah, we never had any leftovers. Yeah.
And noodles, and we didn't have leftovers.
No, we did not. Now we have left. Well,
now we double everything.
Well,
I feel like.
So then I always double it on purpose because I know you guys always want it. Nicole always is thinking about. I know that's why Arrow says all the time, because when Nicole's eating, she probably doesn't know it, but she says all the time.
Do I?
Like, yes.
Do I? You said that, but I don't think I really do.
You do. You're just like, this is so good. Like she's just like that, and she's moaning, and he loves her and watches her. So that's where he gets it from. He's got a big smile on his face every time there's food around, and he's like,
he does, and he watches me with his eyes, and like, oh god, I can't create this little food monster.
Yeah,
I'm gonna call me out next time I go, because I want to.
Yeah, you're always like, this is so good. Like, I'm like, well, at least I know they like my cooking, because it's always like, yeah. But what were you gonna say earlier? You said,
when I was little too, I think that going to my grandma's house, your mom's, for Christmas, I loved seeing, like, we were really close with the cousins. Josh was my age, and like I loved seeing him and like playing. And then my aunts I was really close with, and I still am really close to Tiffany, but I loved that family thing. And Amanda and Ashley, like, I don't know, that was something I always looked forward to too. But then it got to where I think I got older, and I swear, like, just as you get older, it just becomes a little bit of magic is lost, I think. I don't know. Then you got a phone, you got more responsibilities, but I think
it's more like the world has changed. I think that's what made, it seems like these phones make everybody way more busy. And I don't know if it's not necessarily a good busy. It just makes them, because I don't know where the weeks are flying by still now. I mean, they flew back. I made time for everything back then, but I can't imagine sitting at, like, you and Jesse played every sport, and I sat at games 4 to 5 days a week, and I could not even imagine making the time to do that now.
That's the best thing about Big Brother was you could not have your damn phone. You had human connection 24/7. That's the only way that you could. You had to talk about everything. You had to make friends. You had to, I don't know, it was just, that was an awesome aspect.
That's why the relationships are like, real. Yeah, because you're really building on them, and that's why you get your feelings hurt a lot more too, because you're like, you're emotionally attached to those people. You wake up
every single day and you see that person for 90 some days every day. You do not have your family. They become your family. And I think that's just a really, it's a cool aspect to that game that you don't really get otherwise. In Survivor, yes, you do, but that's only 30 some days, right? Big Brother's 90 some days with just those people that are strangers at one point to you. And The Amazing Race is different because you get to interact. You interact with your cameramen, producers. You interact with strangers on the street that you're asking for help. And then you have your partner, which most of the time you know really, really well. But the Big Brother game is just, when you had me thinking about that, like, you don't feel no one's going to go purposefully take away their phone for 30 days. I couldn't, because I'd be afraid of a family emergency. But in that bubble, you have like the best producers taking care of you. You have a medic on site, so it makes your anxiety go away. Like, if something were to happen to me, like, I'm literally in a better place now than at home as far as getting medical help. And then no news is good news. So it's kind of like you get to go to this like camp where you get a break from life, and then you kind of just get like thrown back out, but it's like really freaking nice. But if I could get rid of my phone for 30 days and lock my family in a house, I would. I think that'd be awesome. I think it'd be so much fun. And
we're talking about when we go on vacation and stuff. Like, I have this like rec area. It's a shed, and it's everything in it. We hardly ever like entertain anymore, so everything's like new and nice up there. I would love to just lock my whole family in there for a weekend. You know what I mean? And just,
like
this is our vacation.
Like a retreat.
Nope, the boys couldn't do it. It's only me and you that can do it.
Frustrating. And that's like how I find comfort. Comfort is to me spending the night at my grandma's house with my whole entire family the night before the Christmas dinner, and just like cuddling on the couch, watching movies, playing games, over like eating till you're like really full. Like that's like my like comfort that I really like, and I feel safe and warm. But it's really hard to get that feeling back again, because, and now especially being a mom and caring for another human being as much as I do, I don't think I will. You just never feel at ease. I could never go on a show now, ever. And like as of right now, no, because I can't. I get anxiety. I went and got my hair done. That's another story. Can I talk about that quick?
Yeah.
So I went and got my hair done. It's been, I think, 9 months, 8-9 months since I've got it cut. And then I turned into a brunette after having Arrow. I'm not really quite sure what happened. But my hair was getting dark. And so I usually go to Nashville because I love my hairstylist in Nashville. But I was like, this is not feasible. I have a child. I'm not going to travel to Nashville and take him and put him in all this danger. So I can selfishly get my hair done by my stylist that I love. So I'm going to go local. And there's a really great girl local my mom goes to, and I had gone to before. I had gone to Nashville. So luckily I got back in her books. And so she did my hair. But I had so much hair that she literally foiled it for 2 hours. It was going on 4 hours, the appointment. And Arrow doesn't take a bottle, or I say this every time, but we tried Sippy Cup, and he kind of took it once, I think, for like, I got excited, but he wasn't taking it for Mom that day. She's kind of messaging me like he's hungry, and he's not even eating like sweet potatoes or nothing, and you know, she doesn't want to like spoon feed him, and I'm like having this anxiety. I'm like, oh my God, like I got to get out of here.
He was good for the first 3 hours.
Which is good.
It was like playing whatever, but when he got tired, it was like,
and I was like, oh shoot, I really wanted her to. She's a really good like hairstylist too, where she can braid really cool and do really good beach waves. I was like, I gotta go. Like, I'm sorry. And then so I left. But my point is that was the longest I've been away from him as far as like that type of thing. Normally I'm gone like an hour and a half and 2 hours. But I get anxiety even if I go to, like, me and Victor went out to breakfast one time and I got like separation anxiety. And so I'm like, crap, like this is not healthy for either one of us. But so I went and saw this is going down another train of thought, but this is good. We went and saw my chiropractor, who is so amazing. If you're in the area, Dr. Michaela is the best of the best. But I also don't want her to get too busy where she can't like see me when I need her. But she's so amazing. But she's like said, she kind of made a point of, maybe because I do get some anxiety and stuff, and like maybe you need to see the sun, and I think it would be good for Arrow as well, like with his skin, because maybe like his skin is like, it can't really heal very good because I feel like it keeps crusting over and then happening again. And she kind of said the sun might be kind of good for him, and
maybe some salt water. And I was like, that's what I needed, because I just needed a little push. I was like, all right, we're going to Florida. So anyways, we are going to try to book a trip to Florida, hopefully sometime soon, because we really need it. We do go in March, but I really don't want to have to wait that long. But I love like when someone basically says, all right, go get some sun. It's like, okay, yeah. I'll try. I just wish you could snap your fingers and be there, and it wasn't like, it's just all the prep, but it's always worth it when you can get a few days of downtime.
I wish we lived at like driving distances somewhere warm, because I was supposed to be going to a comedy concert in Indiana, which would have been super nice to get a break. And my mom and dad were going to drive down with us, and my friend Megan lives there, and I was like, this is going to be so fun. This is the best Christmas present ever. And then Victor had to work. He has to work now, I guess, and so I'm like really sad. But
did you guys sell them tickets or get rid of them? Or?
No, I guess I don't think he tried to sell them or anything. But
If it didn't happen yet, you should.
We could, or we could just give them to someone so they could use them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, do it on your Instagram.
Oh, okay. Well, if anyone's listening and wants to go to Becky Robinson's Indiana show tour, it's in Indianapolis.
And when is it?
It's the 20th. What's the date right now? It is the 14th. So it's on the 20th. And if you want to go, DM the podcast page. Me and Vic have 2 tickets. She's really funny. If she's your style, check her out on Instagram. She has different like personas, and she plays like the entitled housewife, which is hilarious. Anyways, I love her humor. I just go to her page and just like laugh it up all the time. So if you're interested, we got 2 tickets, and we didn't plan on selling them anyway, so I'll give them to you. Whoever messages first and is in the area. Is there anything else today, Mom?
There's one thing I didn't forget I touched up on when we were talking about the tradition thing. Mm-hmm. And what I was going to say, with families getting smaller and people having less children now, and I think that's what makes family gatherings a lot smaller, you're having your traditions and your holidays doesn't have to just be your blood family. You can like have your next door neighbor's friends and have a tradition with them, or a group of friends, and do that. And it's just the same thing every year. You know, you can always find people to make your circle. Yeah.
Jacqueline and Mike. So our good friend, Mike has his birthday on Christmas. And so it's really hard to have your birthday on Christmas. You don't really get like that, like, I feel like attention that you want. So for the last, accidentally, I swear, for the last 3 or 4 years, we've hung out with them the day before. So that's kind of like a tradition, I feel. It
is. And we can't really do our present stuff Christmas Eve. Jessie and Ashley have her family stuff that day because that's how it's always been for her. So they do come stay the night with us, but they don't get here till 8 or 9 o'clock. So we don't plan anything spectacular without them. So yeah, we all meet at Nicole's, and then Jacqueline and Mike come over, and now she just had the baby too. I had a baby too. So, and I mean, maybe we'll start including some more people too, because it's just nice. It's just fun. And
I would love to have that. That's fun.
Yeah, it is.
And it's fun to have a Valentine's Day party. Maybe one of us should try to have that. Oh, thank you guys so much for joining us this week.
Super Bowl is the 13th.
Wait, oh, really?
I think so. It's like Super Bowl Sunday is, or is it the 11th? But it's really close to Valentine's Day. So and you're probably going to have a Super Bowl party. So if you really want to tie Valentine's Day into it, you can. But let me look. February 13th is actually Super Bowl Sunday. So you can do some Valentine's decorating for Super Bowl.
Super Bowl Sunday's not like...
I like Super Bowl Sunday.
You do?
I love the squares. I love to have squares. I hated
growing up with the school the next day. I thought that was so stupid.
Well, they could have Super Bowl Saturday, yeah.
Thank you guys so much for joining us this week. We would love to hear what you would want to hear from us next week. So go ahead and go to our Coco Caliente podcast page on Instagram. DM us. We talk to you guys on there, but especially my mom is super active on the Facebook page. You have to request to be a member. So it's Coco Caliente Podcast. And you can like the page, but to become a member, just request it. My mom will make sure that you're not like someone that's trying to hate on us, getting in there, and then she'll approve you, and then you're welcome to join the chats that she has in there. And eventually, when I open up my boutique, I plan to do the first code, like a discount code in there and stuff with special. I really do appreciate you guys who show up every single week and listen to us, because it's definitely not something that you have to do. And we love to still be able to do this. So thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next week.
And have a good weekend.
If you want to be the most interesting person at the cocktail party, well, hop on over and listen to the Brain Candy Podcast.
Our award-winning content will have you laughing while you're learning.
We read all the best articles, books, and studies, and keep up with new TV shows, documentaries, and pop culture. And then we cram it all into 2 shows a week.
Conspiracy theories, cannibal rabbits, unsolved mysteries, the history of the Walkman. There's something for everyone.
The Brain Candy Podcast. Find our link in the show notes.
Or simply search for the Brain Candy Podcast on your podcast app.